Buddhi. 4. Electrical color, the mental plane. Man. 1. Electrical vibration, Buddhi plane. 2. Electrical light, the mental plane. 3. Electrical sound, the astral plane. 4. Electrical color, the physical plane. We need to remember here that we were earlier dealing with the Logos, and with the heavenly men as incorporate parts of his body of manifestation. In the tabulation above given we are dealing with each separately, and it should be observed that the manifestation of the groups of causal bodies on the mental plane is the color manifestation of a heavenly man and his lowest point of objectivity. In man his lowest point of objectivity is the fifth subplane of the physical plane, as the liquid and the dense subplanes are not counted as principles any more than the cosmic liquid and dense, the astral and the systemic physical planes, count with the heavenly man. We have seen that manas or mind is the fifth principle, or the basic vibration of the cosmic mental plane, the fifth plane. It was therefore impulse originating from the causal levels of the cosmic mental plane, which drove our solar Logos into manifestation, in the same way that the force which brings man into incarnation emanates from his causal body on the mental plane of the solar system. We have seen also that manas is that discriminative faculty which animates all substance, and which is also the electrical fire of the system showing forth as attraction and repulsion, with all that is involved in those two words. In the widest sense of the idea, the laws of economy and of synthesis are only divisions of that same cosmic law of which attraction and repulsion are also manifestations. This cosmic law, demonstrating thus in a threefold manner, might, for lack of a better term, be called the law of being, and is of a nature so incomprehensible to the finite mind of man that he can only sense it partially through the aforesaid three branches. 3. Manas is that which produces cohesion. We come now to our third definition. The manasic principle is above all else that cohesive something which enables an entity, whether Logos, heavenly man, or man, to work. A. Through form, and thus exist. B. By means of progressive development, or cyclic evolution. C. On certain planes, that are, for the entity concerned, the battleground of life, and the field of experience. D. By the method of manifestation, which is a gradual growth from a dim and distant dawn through an ever-increasing splendor of light to a blaze of effulgent glory. Then through a steadily dimming twilight to final obscuration. Dawn, day, midday, twilight, night. Thus is the order for the Logos, for a planetary Logos, and for man. If the above 4 points are carefully studied, it will be found that they are fairly comprehensive, and embody the 4 points that are as yet the only ones available for man in this fourth round. Man regards himself as a synthesized aggregate of physical body, emotional nature, and mentality, yet knows himself as more than these three, and recognizes himself as the utilizer of form, of emotion, and of mentality, holding them all together coherently so that he is a unit. A planetary Logos similarly does the same, with the difference that manas is not the medium whereby he is a coherent whole. Owing to his more advanced stage of development, wisdom is for him the dominant factor. A solar Logos achieves through will what a planetary Logos does through wisdom or Buddhi, and man, on his tiny scale, through manas. Yet, as both planetary Logos and man are but parts of their greater whole, the electric fire of will permeates them also, merging with the solar fire of Buddhi, and fanning the fires of matter. In all these distinctions and differentiations it must be remembered that they do not exist from the logoic standpoint, but are only to be predicated in relation to the lesser bodies which are included in the solar ring pass knot. A man is a coherent unit in objective manifestation for very brief periods on the physical plane simply because as yet he works only through manas, and not through wisdom. His cycles are consequently soon run, and gone like a flash in the night. A planetary logos, who is perfected menos and works through wisdom, has longer cycles, and from the angle of vision of man endures for eons. His life is the basis of the comparative permanence of the egoic cycles of man. The cycle of objectivity of the solar logos persists for the greater Mahamanvantara, or solar cycle, because it is based on will as well as on wisdom and menos. Therefore, it will be apparent that a. Menos or intelligence is the basis of the separative manifestation of man. B. Wisdom or buddhi is the basis of the group manifestation of the heavenly man. C. Will is the basis of the one life, which synthesizes all groups. Therefore again, in studying this fire of mind, we must remember that it is that which man is developing and with which he is learning to work, but that it is also that which a heavenly man has developed in an earlier system. It is to him as automatic in its action as is the subconscious activity of a man's physical organs. 4. Menos is the key to the fifth kingdom in nature. We might also define menos as the key to the door through which entrance is made into the fifth kingdom of nature, the spiritual kingdom. Each of the 5 kingdoms is entered by some one key, and in connection the first 2 kingdoms, the mineral and vegetable, the key or method whereby the life escapes into the higher kingdom, is so inexplicable to man as his present stage of intelligent apprehension that we will not pause to consider it. In relation to the animal kingdom, it might be said that the key whereby entrance is effected into the human kingdom is that of instinct. This instinct, towards the final stages of the animal's evolution, and as it becomes more and more detached from the group soul, 128. A group soul is a collection of permanent triads in a triple envelope of monadic essence. The permanent triads are a reflection upon the lower planes of the spiritual triads on the higher. This description is true of all group souls functioning on the physical plane, but gives no idea of the extreme complexity of the subject. From a study in consciousness, by Annie Besant, point 26 becomes transmuted into mentality, or into that embryo mind which is latent in animal man, and which simply needed the stimulating vibration which emanated from the earth's primary to be fanned into something definitely human. We must always bear in mind that the method of individualization on this globe was not the one followed on others, and that many of the present advanced units of humanity individualize normally, and through the driving force of evolution itself. They found, to express it as far as possible in terms of fire, their opposite electrical pole through the activity of animal instinct, and by the blending of the two a human being was produced, the union of the 3 fires in the causal vehicle. Man passes into the 5th kingdom through the transmutation of the discriminative faculty of mind, which as in the animal's individualization brings about at a certain stage a spiritual individualization which is the correspondence on higher levels to what transpired in Lemurian days. Therefore, we have instinct, the key from the animal into the human kingdom, or from the 3rd into the 4th kingdom. Menos, the key from the human into the spiritual kingdom, or from the 4th kingdom into the 5th kingdom. Higher we need not go, for the transmutation of menos proceeds, and much as yet remains to be done. 5. Menos is the synthesis of 5 rays. One other definition might be given, even though its abstruseness may prove but a bewilderment to the student. Menos is the united faculty of 4 of the heavenly men, synthesized through a 5th heavenly man on the 3rd plane of the system. These 5 heavenly men were the logoic embodiment in an earlier system, and achieved the fullness of menosic life. Their synthetic life is that which is primarily understood when we speak of Brahma, that cosmic entity who is the sum total of logoic active intelligence. For lack of better terms we call them the lords of the 4 minor rays, who find their synthesis through the 3rd ray of activity. They have been called in an endeavor to express the principles which they embody. 1. The Lord of Ceremonial Magic. 2. the Lord of abstract idealism, or devotion. 3. The Lord of concrete science. 4. The Lord of harmony and art. These four function through the fourth cosmic ether, and have vehicles of Buddhic matter. They merge into the greater life of the Lord of the third ray of aspect on atomic levels, and these four, with the one synthetic ray, are the totality of monasic energy. They are the life of the five lower planes. They are the five Kumaras, and two remain, making the seven Kumaras, or builders of the universe. These five have been called the five mind-born sons of Brahma. 12,927 manas, therefore, is the psychic effect of their united group work, and shows forth in different ways, according to the units involved, the forms animated, and the planes concerned. They demonstrate predominantly on the five lower subplanes of each plane, and this factor should be remembered in connection with the major initiations of manas. Nevertheless, as they are the sum total of the third or Brahmi aspect, their main sphere of influence is on the lowest or third division of the manifested universe, or on the mental, astral, and physical planes. I would here suggest a third division of the major planes of the system which will hold much of interest for the real student of occultism. First, Logos. Maheva. Will aspect. First plane. Second, Logos. Vishnu. Wisdom aspect. Second, third, fourth. Third, Logos. Brahma. Intelligence. Fifth, sixth, seventh. In these five definitions of manas we have suggested scope for thought, and much has been hinted at for those who have ears to hear. Many more explanatory words might be spoken, but we aim to start students thinking for themselves, and seek to see them defining these ideas in their own words. 6. Manas is the intelligent will or purpose of an existence. Manas might finally be defined as the intelligent will and ordered purpose of every self-conscious entity. I would urge the student to bear in mind certain basic facts which will serve to keep his mind clear, and which will enable him to comprehend something of the place which this fire of mind holds in the cosmos, and the solar system, and, needless to say, in his life also, the reflection of the other two. He should ever remember that manas is a principle of the Logos, and necessarily therefore is felt in all those evolutions which are a part of his nature, but is allied especially to the throat and head centers. It is the active intelligent factor which enables a solar Logos, a planetary Logos, or heavenly man, and a human being to a. Use intelligently a form or vehicle. B. Build faculty into the causal body. C. Reap the benefit of experience. D. Expand the consciousness. E. Make progress towards a specified goal. F. Discriminate between the two poles. G. Choose the direction in which his activity shall trend. H. Perfect the form as well as use it. I. Obtain control of active substance, and turn its forces into desired channels. J. Coordinate the different grades of matter, and synthesize the utilized forms till each and all show a unanimous line of action and express simultaneously the will of the indweller. All these ends are the result of the monastic development,